Uthuli's here. Guys, thank you so much for joining the intentional living conversation with myself and Uthuli. And before I bring her on, I just want to let you guys know why I thought she would be relevant for such a conversation. I can see, Thuli, that you're here. Please, can you send a request and then I'll allow you in. But I want to introduce you while you're still there so you can hear what's in our hearts. So the reason why I felt like she was just relevant for this conversation is because just from watching her on social media and how she lives her life with such authenticity and so simply and with so much truth. And I think the one thing that I did write on my status was I love the fact that, as much as she is an actor, but I think she's so able to distinguish the fact that she's an actor on stage, and then behind that she's a human being who is just full of so much love, of so much kindness and such positive energies. I love opening my Instagram and seeing the things that she puts out, and that's really the reason why I just felt like, she would have wells of wisdom about how to live your life intentionally.
There we go. I was freaking out.
Hey, finally! I know technology will have you. I'm so glad you
Hi,
have.
Saki. All my people have joined.
Oh, yay! Are you good? Are you good?
I am good. Like, I feel like we just hit the ground running. Like I was with you having tea, so you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love
I also feel like.
I was listening to all these amazing things you said about me, and I'm like, you must be really open and sensitive as well as, because I think it takes one to know one for you to pick up that. Because how do you see all of that all on Instagram? I'm like, maybe.
You know what?
Maybe
I think.
too much.
You know what? I think you know what? If you're an authentic person, it shows. Like, it's not something that you put out there and then it's like you're pretending to be it. We can sense and see that this is who you are without you having to tell us, just by the way that you live your life. So yeah.
I appreciate that. That means a lot. Thank you. Thank you for seeing me. Being mindful about who you are and what you do.
Yeah.
And for me, that looks like recognizing my power, recognizing my strengths and weaknesses, and knowing if this is my light and if this is my power and if this is my purpose, then the friends, the work, the relationships, the money, everything is going to come in my space in relation to knowing that. So over the years, I've become people. If this is not serving my purpose, I don't want it. In the relationship, and the job, and the money, and the friends. If it's not for me, please let me hand it. And I mean fully, because that's what living intentionally is doing things with intention. I know it sounds really basic, but example, I'm someone who suffers depression and anxiety. So I know I don't present that way because being an actress enables me to have tools to act like I'm okay when I'm not, right? But knowing my condition, things like my mental health, hiking, taking long baths, going to the spa. It's not it's not for the aesthetics. It's and ensuring that because of the way we are, we need to lead a particular life. And we need to surround ourselves in particular environments and people that enable us to be more of that than less than. So I can't afford to be anxious in anything that I do. You know what I mean? So that informs a lot of what I do, and that's the intention. The way I always see it is, when you fall on the cliff. Right?
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, you're gonna hit a rock, you're gonna get a fall, you're gonna get some sand on
it.
Like, I would have just, but that's not
jump in.
You know what I mean? Because had I known that it's gonna be a soft landing at the end, so that's how I move through knowing that it's happening for me and not to me.
Yeah, that's healing me. Yeah. Okay.
And it's also moving from victimhood, right? And it's I know God always tells us, I want you to know, I want to remind you of who you are, not what you were.
Oh yeah.
Right? So the devil or whomever you perceive him to be, the negative is always going to be trying to remind you of what you were, right? Because he can't create, but he ain't got no new tricks, right? So God wants us to forget that and remember who you are in him. And that means, okay, I'm going to have to walk with you, and I'm scared and I'm wobbly and I don't trust, but I'm going to walk with you because you want me to know I am. How do you teach your child to be intentional? Number one, monkey do. I have a 13-year-old and he is dribbling around me. Yo, you know what I mean? He is for stage, taking puberty, adolescence, high school. So I realized this because I said so, it's not going to work. You know what I mean? So I have to be the example. I have to model the behavior I expect from my child, right? So that's the one. Is how we are intentional how we teach our kids to be intentional is basically by being examples of that first. For example, and I know black parents don't do that. I said something very inappropriate to Riri and it made him feel uncomfortable. And he didn't realize that I realized that. And I called him aside and I said, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. And that was the boundary. And he was taken aback by, you're apologizing to me?
Yeah, he's apologizing.
Well, because I said so.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And then that for me landed way better in his head and his heart than it did when I was giving him a lecture, right? And how you teach kids to be intentional is accountability. Then they would say sorry. Why is it like so? Why so? Or you say I hurt your feelings or because of this. So it's monkey see, monkey do, and teaching kids accountability all the time.
Ruler of self, young black woman can learn so much from you and your journey and your consistency. That's Mr. Poncho. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. That's so lovely. And also I would like to know, how do you stay intentional even when you are going, when everything is at a low? Because it's hard. I know that right now you said you're going through what you're going through. But how do you remain intentional through your go-wishing season?
And that's also a very good question, because that for me it sounds like discipline, right? It's discipline. It's like gym. You've got to do it when you don't want to. Like exams, you've got to study it and study for them, even if I'm full, because you want to get through. So what I'm getting to is what helps me, because I don't get it right. As a depressive, I also have days where and it's just like, and I don't want to do anything, and it's too dark, and I'm just too overwhelmed, right? But there is always something I get in return by remaining disobedient and disciplined, right? So what I'm trying to get to is what keeps me intentional, even though I can't, is knowing that it's a personal investment.
Only
you can do it. I would say not everything is permanent. Right?
Absolutely.
And depending on where you are in your life, sometimes we are at different places in our lives, and you might be at a stronger place than I am, so it just sounds like, oh, maybe it's not permanent, but just know that nothing is ever permanent, and that just as much as we are always ready to accept and embrace the good, we also have to learn how to be still, not
how to be still,
but be still, because nobody teaches us that. That's why we get anxious and nervous and suicidal, because nobody ever teaches us it's going to go bad, it's going to be dark, it's going to be hectic. It's just this expectation of upward trajectory and light and light and light. And that's why we're high in dopamine, because it's a reward chemical. It's constantly, I'm getting an A, I'm going well, things are doing well, I'm getting paid. And then when you stop, often the things that challenge us are in the areas in which we need to learn and grow the most. So I would say, if you are suicidal, please find someone to speak to, because sometimes and just speaking and crying and being with someone to say I hear you goes a long way than being in isolation. If there's a challenge that you're going through, don't ask why me, ask what is this teaching me, and remember it's not happening to me, it's happening for me, and that not everything is permanent. Maybe we should do this once a week. What do you think?
We need to just see. But you know what? Thank you so much for your positive energies, for your down-to-earth persona, for just being you.
Aww.
And I want you to know that we love you. And yeah, we cannot wait to have you in KZN. I know that I'm going to host you. So, you know, whatever happens, yeah, you're going to come this side. Yeah. But thank you so much. We love what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing, and we are praying for you. And yeah, that you may just be the magic that you know that you are.
Yeah, Dondi, I want to thank you for being obedient, and whatever God laid in your heart last week for you to reach out to me was for this. This is happening for us, right?
Absolutely.
And I'm grateful for the accent, because I wouldn't have had a moment to be still and maybe even read your message and request. So I'm grateful that you have been also brought to me. And I'm so glad I met you, and I'm hoping that we can grow from this. And I'm for real, because, you know, it's not kuluma, a lot of us celebrities, you know, we always have to and catch up, and it never happens. But for real, I am willing to extend my light, my face, my energy, my name to your project, as long as it's in the aligned with the vision and purpose.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you for your beautiful service. Have a good evening and get your 8 hours, please.
And watch Scandal.
No, I'm going. That's why I'm like, I need to. Only is up to no good. Take care.
Thank you, and thank you everybody.
Thank you guys for joining us. We love you.
Bye.
Bye.